and where you're from. I can repeat that.
My name's Anthony Marinelli. I'm 36 years old. I'm 6 foot. I'm approximately 360 pounds, and I'm from Bayonne, New Jersey.
Perfect. And what do you do for a living? You can just say it.
Right now, I'm unemployed. I have been doing like little like odds and ends to make money. I do personal training sessions actually, and but right now I'm really not making money with that. I kind of do it more as a like a charity thing.
Perfect. Um, and I kind of pause in between each, so it's just easier to cut down and edit, not
Mm-hmm.
for any reason. But okay. Next question is, what is the major life situation you're dealing with right now? So, anxiety, you're collecting your action figures, and your anger issues. You can say all of that just in a full sentence.
Basically, my collection and my toys is kind of my escape from reality. Again, right now our home situation isn't really the greatest. You know, 2 years ago we were doing very well. We were very comfortable, and then I wound up. Oops, sorry, baby. And then I wound up getting laid off from work, and you know, and it kind of put me in a bad place after it's been so long now, and just trying to look for work, and it's just put me in a really depressed state. Last year I was in a really bad place. Oh, I'm sorry, baby. Sorry, that's my son. I was in a really bad place, and I kind of pulled myself out of that a little bit. Um, 1 second. And I kind of pulled myself out of that a little bit, and I started a new diet, and I started my Let's Get There program, and I started doing a whole bunch of things. I wound up losing 70 pounds in 7 months, and I was feeling fantastic. I was moving in the right direction. I kind of pulled myself out of a really bad depression, and then I blew out my knee, and that started the downward spiral back into a bad mental state.
Okay. I'm just gonna have you say that just a little briefer and clear sentences, and also just because of your son, just want to get it clear
Yeah.
and just repeat, the major life situations that you're dealing with right now, and yeah, just go whenever you're ready.
Okay. Um, right now, we're in a mentally I'm in a bad place, and because I'm not working, so I'm kind of down on myself, and I've been beating myself up a lot lately, uh, and I'm looking to try to pull myself out of that. Is that good? You want something different?
That's good. Just one more time with just a little more energy. Same thing.
Right now, I'm in a bad place mentally. I feel like I could be doing better with myself. Unfortunately, with the work situation being what it is, I feel like I need to improve myself, and find out how I can do that, and find different ways to fix myself.
Okay. Can you explain the anger issues you kind of have right now? What usually sets them off, and maybe how you're dealing with them?
Um, I the anger, it's not so much anger. It's more I beat myself up. I get very down and very depressed, and I do get angry when it comes. I get frustrated, more frustration than anything else, because again the situation I'm in, and and the anger, it tends to little things kind of set me off as far as the anger is concerned. Like I don't know, like I'll drop an egg on the floor or something minute, little things like that, and I'll just like and I'll just make it the end of the world, and I'll just get upset about it, and just and focus on that for long, instead of just letting it go. Um, the kids, my boys right now, you know, you got two little ones screaming in your ear, and it's like and I tend to I get a little frustrated sometimes again with the boys, but I love them. but you know, when that happens, I just kind of take a step back for myself, and you know, come into my little toy room. And like I said, this right here is kind of my escape from reality, and I just come in here and I cool off, and you know, I take a deep breath and I collect myself, and you know, and I do what I can to get focused and back to the way I should be.
Okay. And so just any. Sorry, never mind. Switching my question. Tell me, what is your relationship like with your family?
Well, my extended family is not that great. I see my mom maybe once a month, and when we do that, it's normally for maybe an hour at a time. Any more than that, it turns into a knockdown, drag out. My family isn't that large. I have my uncle Charlie, my aunt Barbara. We see them on holidays. I talk to them every now and again. But again, mainly my family is my wife and my boys. You know, I focus on them, and you know, they're my world. Everything I do, I do for them, and I focus on my wife and my boys mostly.
Okay. Awesome. Thanks. All right. What issue in your life that you think has been the most difficult for you to change?
My weight has been probably the biggest issue in my life. I've been on that roller coaster my entire life. You know, growing up, I was pretty much shoveled food in my mouth because I grew up in an Italian house. They're like, hey, you got to shovel food in your mouth, and you know, and so I've been on that roller coaster my entire life. I got to a point to where I was at my largest. I was 425 pounds. And you know, I had a few friends that they said, "Listen, man, you're for the sake of your child, you know, because at the time my oldest was a baby, and they said, you know, for the sake of your son, you need to do something." So I managed to lose over 100 pounds at that point, and I felt really good. But then, you know, life just kind of gets in the way, and I started putting the weight back on, and again, it's just that roller coaster. And that's been my biggest struggle in life right now. And I feel like my weight being what it is, kind of just makes like a domino effect with everything else. So, you know, I feel if I'm not in a good place mentally because of the way I look, then, you know, I can't be positive about other things in my life.
Okay. Thank you. All right. So tell me a little bit about your action figurines, where you hold that, house them, and you know, does your wife not like that? I saw that a little bit in your video. Just talk a little bit about them, how you collect them, how big your collection.
When I first met my wife, my collection was extremely large. At one point in time, I had every single wall in my room just wall to wall action figures. It looked like a toy store. Now I wound up selling a lot. At one point, I definitely had to have had over 1,000 action figures, easily over 1,000 action figures. Now I'm down to what I have back here. A lot of what I have left is kind of my loose stuff, my loose action figures, and you know, things that kind of have like more sentimental value to me. And I find it really hard to separate myself from them. But I wound up having to sell a big portion of my collection because we had gotten married, so we needed money. And right now, just the situation being as it is, you know, we need money. So I've been selling my collection off little by little. But these things back here are things I'll probably say more than likely never part with. A lot of the stuff here is I have custom action figures, things that I've done like this over here. This is a custom action figure. I handmade this, and right here is my belt. I made that, and just like, yeah, a lot of these I can never part with. And I have my wife she's when we first met, she was kind of taken back by it a lot. She was a little overwhelmed with the action figures, but you know, as far as the comic book thing goes, and she was really into that, and like we had our comic book themed wedding, and that was pretty much her idea. But she's cool with it now, as long as my stuff stays where it belongs, which is here in my room. But it does tend to kind of dribble out into the rest of the house. And when it starts to get too bad, she's like, "Hey, we gotta nip this in the butt right now. Put it away." But yeah, that's my figurines are a big part of my life, and I said that this is a lot of for all the stuff that I've been through in my life. This has always been the one thing that's been a constant for me is my collection, And whenever if I'm having a bad day, or if I'm not feeling that great, I can just come in here, move around some figures, set them up, put them on display a little bit, and it's kind of detachment from the problems I'm having.
Great. Can I just get you to say, like right now I have X amount of action figures. These are the ones that I have a strong emotional attachment to. I can never part with them. Just state that and like why. So it's
Okay.
I kind of said that before, but I just want to get it like clear.
Okay, no problem. Right here on this display right here, it's a little bit of a mess, but right here I have about 500 action figures, and this top shelf right here is where I have most of my emotional attachment to. It's all my Superman stuff. A huge collector of Superman, and but you have this is my heart right here.
Great. Can you tell me what your dream job would be?
Oh, well, I just got a tingle from that one actually. My dream, I have a huge dream. Last year, like I said, I kind of pulled myself out of a funk, and I started this program called Let's Get There. And Let's Get There is such a wide range of things. It could be whatever it is that it is. Everybody has an issue about themselves, and that they need to, that they want to get over. And I want to come in and I want to be able to personally help people and say, hey, let's get there to help you fix whatever issue it is you have. For me, a big part of pulling myself out of the funk I was in is motivating. And for me, my motivation is motivating other people. So last year I had started working out really hard, and just engaging people on the track and just talking to people, I wound up having people just kind of gravitate towards me, and people following me, and I've done a lot of homework as far as nutrition goes and training.